What's going on, YouTube? So this video is about an oak corner shelf that a family member had asked me to do for them, and I wanted to apologize about the camera in this video. It's just clicking, but there were certain parts of this that I wanted to capture and keep. Secondly, references for any of my work, I kind of go with Peter Korn, Woodworking Basics, his book Philosophies, with like cutting pieces large and you know, sneaking up to size, and if you can handle the Woodsmith Shop videos, they're on YouTube now, I think. Those are good. Usually I learn something from watching them, but yeah, so let's jump into it. Also, this is the best milling video I've found out there on YouTube, so if you want to learn more about that, give it a shot. So resawing like this is hard on your table saw blades, so I have been replacing them every now and then when you can tell it gets dull or the feed is slow. I have been using the Ripping that has the 25 teeth, but for furniture I do like the for plywood and stuff like that, I do like the 50, 60. I don't typically buy 80, it's just too expensive, but you will have to keep an eye on that. So for these oak pieces, I've kind of come to the conclusion that the center is bowed so much that I'm gonna have to cut the side, just use the sides. Show you what I mean. Center ridge here. Oh, I already cut off one piece. Not exactly straight either, so I'm just gonna get rid of the center ridge. These, I mean, I'm gonna see which board turns out better. I cut one thick, you know, full 13 inches wide, that I could plane potentially all the way down to 3/4, and then I cut one that's two separate boards with leaving the middle, which is the bowed portion, out. No cup. For the most part. Tons of cup. You can see from here the center. Wow, that was empty before I started this board. So, I have never done maple. I've done poplar a million times, but dude, that is insane. Just the funky coloration. So awesome. think from the heat. It's split. Definitely, I mean, this is one piece that I've cut in half. So in the middle, it was cupping. And it looks like this is the reason the wood is really weak in the middle and was bowing up and making these. So after planing this, still need to track saw off some of these imperfections. Kind of do a base. Looking alright, I guess. Some interesting coloration patterns. But for a base on a project, it's probably going to be alright. I mean, what I'll end up doing is, like, this is going to be cut out. So what I can do is make the cutout portion. Hopefully, I'm going to make a template. So I had to find some hardboard. I just had to like turn my whole shop upside down. So approaching final dimensions on this board for the base. And so here's some of the decisions I'm trying to make. I got my template lined up. It's close. It's not supposed to be perfect, but so I want to avoid this big crack. So I'm removing it here, but that side looks decent. This side. So this piece, I mean, this was cut in a friend's yard. No fancy setup here, but when I'm cutting final dimensions, I like to get a board underneath it just to just tear out. So, got my line measured 5 times, so I know it's spot on. And away we go. So for me on the bandsaw work, it's always a little nerve-wracking because, you know, you got this board cut up the final dimensions. And you have to cut it perfect, and my bandsaw's not the greatest. It's okay, but 3/4 inch stock is about as far as you can push it, put it that way. And oak and cherry are not the easiest. So I'll just show you, hopefully, how I get started. always smells like I'm gonna burn down the shop, but I guess this is just because I got no power on the bandsaw. But yeah, here's how that ended up looking. So I'm gonna have to glue this up and keep my fingers crossed. But the way I measured it, it can go on the inside and no one will ever see it. So hopefully I'm passing on at least this as well. Be creative with the wood. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect for furniture making. If you put in a little bit of elbow grease, you can make the wood work for you, and no one will ever notice. So here's always the fun part about joinery. It's pretty close to 90, and you know, it's off a little bit, but I don't want to hammer on this. I don't want to split it, but maybe it's off a 32nd. You know what? I don't really care. But the thing I was noticing is it's a little bit of a gap. So, you know, and my clamping system's probably not nearly the best. I'm not gluing it up right now. I'm just going to fit it at where it's going to live and see if it looks about right. So we're just going to screw it in. So my gluing skills aren't fantastic. To get it somewhat back to what it should be. You'd be surprised how little of this it takes to get this. Anyway, I'll clean that up a bit. So the way I'd always design my bookcases, TV stands is sort of wood. Have you ever seen a woodsmith shop? Done any of their plans? They always have two cleats in the base, and it's amazing how rigid they get. So that's why I never throw away any wood, because like this piece is not even dimensional, not really planed, not even sanded, but it would make for a great cleat. So this is just going to provide support. Yeah, so I'm having to get really creative here, having never done a piece like this. I don't really have jigs set up for this sort of thing, which I probably, anyway, it's not sitting flush, so I'm just going to shim it a little bit so it sits flush, and I'm going to pilot all this because it's such a weird spot. I mean, I can't tell you, that is just night and day sturdiness with that cleat on there. So yeah, that's huge. These are on pretty tight. Yeah. So I'll drop another screw in there, and we should be good. So the other thing that needs to be with these woodsmith shop bases, they always throw a piece of plywood on here next, which makes this thing super rigid, and obviously we got to put the face. So that's what it ended up looking like in the light. It's a little different than any design I've done, and when I did the case bottom, I had to, you know, trace it and cut it out, and then further trim it up. You can see over there the shelves. Sort of a teaser for the next video. That's one of the shelves in the case bottom down there. And another thing that I did this time that's a little weird or different is I put a little secret compartment in it, but I will leave that for the next. If you know you're trying to store something, anyway, I'll leave it for the next video. So hopefully that wasn't too excruciatingly boring for you. you made it this far, thank you for sticking around. I'm gonna have to break this into parts because it's just gotten so long. So this will just be devoted to the base and some of the resawing of the wood. Already got some of the case done. You know, the case is pretty much, it's more straightforward because I'm going to use plywood for it, but we'll go into that in the next one. Hope everybody's doing all right, and take care.